This is Nick.
This is Jack.
It's Wednesday, October 5th, and today's pod, out of every pod we've ever done, this pod is the best one yet.
It's a T-boy.
It's a TBOY. October, Jack, more like Shocktober.
Stocks just had their best back-to-back day in 2 years.
Markets kicked off the month with a kick.
Let's go, Libras.
What's our first story, man? What do we got today?
After 6 months of awkwardness, Elon Musk finally blinked.
Elon just offered to finally buy Twitter for real. This time, super serious. We're being super serious. He's buying it.
No takebacks.
No backsies.
Pinky swear. For our second story, Liquid Death just hit a $700 million valuation for their canned water.
Liquid Death, the LaCroix killer, has struck again.
Our third and final story, it's Credit Suisse, the investment bank. It's in such trouble right now, people are whipping out the L word.
Is Credit Suisse the next Lehman?
Credit Suisse.
Credit Suisse.
But Yetis, before we hit that wonderful mix of stories,
A fantastic mix. I love this mix today, man.
we have to have an emergency T-boy meeting right now.
Emergency T-Boy meeting, because something we lost hath been found.
In 2020, the unprecedented happened.
The never-ending pasta bowl at Olive Garden, it ended.
Now that's ironic because the pasta doesn't end.
Right, but apparently the deal that the pasta came with, that did end, and it can, and it did.
But get this, Olive Garden just announced they're reviving the greatest marketing hack of all time.
Olive Garden is bringing back the unlimited bolognese.
We're calling it the return of the rigatoni.
It's the resuscitation of the ravioli.
We're ready for more spaghetti.
Now, Yetis, during the pandemic, Olive Garden just didn't have enough cooks and didn't have enough servers.
No, they didn't. It was a logistics nightmare that not even Chicago could solve.
Jack, you can't do unlimited tortellini for takeout. Are you kidding me?
And all that fusilli, it was a super spreader.
This is like amateur hour for the Alfredo sauce.
So here's what the OG did. They paused during the pandemic that never-ending pappardelle deal.
And that great penne pause, it felt permanent.
But now, the Olive Garden sees an opportunity.
Because there is no better marketing move right now than unlimited anything.
Prices are up so high, you'd do anything for free fettuccine.
Jack, you do anything for that nonstop gnocchi.
You're ready for more spaghetti.
Because besties, if you binge enough bucatini, you don't need to buy groceries for like a full week.
That's not a deal, Nick. That's a lifestyle.
Jack, let's hit our 3 unlimited stories.
I'm ready for more spaghetti.
15 years before this song, 2 boys from the Northeast met in the dorm. They had an idea that caused a cultural storm. It's the best one yet, but the best is the norm. Jack, Nick, that's it. I don't even think they need to practice. 50%, that's a fat tip. T-Boy City on your list. If you know, you know, cause we ready to go. We can't wait no more, so just start the show. Start the show.
For our first story, Elon has offered to drop his lawsuit and finally buy Twitter for the original price.
Elon's Twitter
Elon's Twitter
is about to become reality.
Jack, what did we say yesterday? What did we literally say like 24 hours ago?
Did we say Elon news comes in bunches?
We said when we were covering Tesla, Elon news comes in bunches. And what did we get today?
Another bunch.
Boom, Yetis. It is the Elon Show, episode 8, Return of Elon.
6 months ago, reality TV took over part of the finance section.
And in the latest episode of the Elon Show, Elon just blinked.
It's official. Elon has offered to end his Twitter lawsuit.
And Elon has offered to finally buy Twitter.
Now, Elon's probably thinking, this lawsuit against Twitter and me trying to bail out of the deal, it's embarrassing, it's expensive, and it's a lost cause.
It's not pretty. So he has offered to honor his original offer from 6 months ago to buy Twitter for how much money, Jack?
$44 billion or $54.20 a share.
8 lifts.
Now, if Twitter forgives Elon and accepts this offer, this might be the final episode of the Elon Show.
Now, Yetis, when this news broke yesterday, Jack and I had to scramble, change the stories we were covering. And Jack, what was the very first thing that happened?
We noticed Twitter stock exploded. Nick and I actually own Twitter stock because we wanted skin in the game of this reality TV drama.
We were just curious whether Twitter stock went up or went all the way to zero. We just wanted to be involved.
So when Bloomberg originally broke the news yesterday, the stock surged so much It had to be halted twice.
Because Twitter stock has been in this awkward in-between situation like since May.
It's been stuck in a limbo like a second semester senior.
Because if Elon buys Twitter, like experts insist all along he has to do, the stock would be worth $54.20 a share.
But if Elon somehow manages to wiggle out of the deal, then Twitter would be left in worse shape than ever. And I don't know, would the stock fall to $20 in that case?
Well, either way, Jack, ipso facto, Twitter stock, it's been stuck in the middle.
It's been stuck around $40 a share for the past 6 months, in a purgatory between these two possible outcomes.
Well, yesterday, Twitter stock surged 23% to $52, which is a very particular price, isn't it, Jack?
$52 is very close to the $54.20 that Elon will buy Twitter for.
So this news crushes most, but not all, of the doubts that Elon is going to buy Twitter and he's going to pay $44 billion.
$54.20 per share.
8 lifts.
This is Jack. Nick and I both own one share. We're eager for that $54.20.
We just bought one share. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Twitter?
Twitter never should have been a company at all.
Twitter never should have been a company at all. Those actually aren't our words. Jack, whose words are those?
Those are the words of Jack Dorsey, co-founder and former CEO of Twitter.
Court records show that Jack Dorsey texted that line to Elon, calling it Twitter's original sin.
Jack Dorsey thought Twitter was too important to society to be subject to the whims of Wall Street.
He didn't think Twitter should have been a company at all.
But funny thing, Twitter's also probably too important to be controlled by one person.
Like if Twitter accepts Elon's offer, Twitter will now be controlled by the world's richest human being.
Who's also distracted by the 3 other companies he's CEO of.
And who's got an ego the size of a rocket ship.
Also, Twitter employees are traumatized, exhausted, and probably resentful now of Elon for all this drama they've put him through.
Yetis, maybe Twitter should have never been a public company all along.
Should it have been Elon's pet project? We're about to find out.
For our second story, Liquid Death, the canned water company, just hit a whopping $700 million valuation, Jack.
It has Nick and me asking, is Liquid Death the future of fluids?
Ooh.
Or is it just dancing the Macarena?
All right, the trivia question for this weekend, Jack, the fastest growing non-alcoholic beverage of all time isn't alive.
It's dead.
It's Liquid Death. It's Liquid Death.
Most water brands sound like spa treatments.
Yeah, you got Perrier.
You got Dasani.
They sound like meditations feel.
I'll have the 60-minute Aquafina with a San Pellegrino peel and an Evian facial, please.
If we have time, can I get the Fiji finisher?
Liquid Death is the exact opposite.
Because Liquid Death is selling water, but it comes in a 16-ounce tall boy can. Jack, what is their catchphrase?
Murder your thirst with Liquid Death.
Now, Jack and I introduced Liquid Death earlier this year in January. And Jack, what were the financials back in January?
We were shocked that a water company had a $500 million valuation and was selling $45 million a year of that product.
Okay, Jack, 10 months later, what kind of numbers are we now seeing from Liquid Death?
Sales have tripled to $130 million of water sales per year, and the valuation is almost $1 billion.
We're talking about a company that has the #1 most watched TikTok channel of any beverage brand ever.
It's the #1 selling H2O on Amazon right now.
Now, Yetis, here's what Jack and I found fascinating about this story. Back in January, we said that it was a case study in branding.
Today, we'd say that the package is the product.
Because when it comes to Liquid Death, the product is the water, like Mountain, H2O.
The world is mostly water.
You're mostly water. I'm mostly water.
That's true. There's one ingredient in this product, and it's just 3 atoms. That's it.
Jack, you add that up, isn't that like one molecule?
It's actually 2 atoms. It's just H and O, but O is there twice.
Oh, now we're splitting hairs. This pod is 100% water.
But Yetis, the packaging doesn't say water at all.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It screams like Red Bull energy beer cocktail.
Because on the can of Liquid Death isn't a pretty polar bear. It's actually a flaming human fleshy skull.
It's like a Judas Priest t-shirt that was raised by Ozzy Osbourne.
You drink Liquid Death, it tastes like a tattoo.
It's the only drink that could beat us up in an alley. And it's water.
You open Liquid Death and you're looking for the nookie. Come on, the nookie. Jack, we just bought some. Our refrigerator looks like an album by Kiss.
Yetis, the packaging is the product because no one sees what you drink. They only see the thing you hold.
So the way Jack and I see it, Liquid Death is actually solving a social problem. It's solving FOMO.
It's solving alcohol FOMO. You can be at a concert, at a party, wherever, and not drink alcohol.
Because the can doesn't look like alcohol.
Nobody's going to notice. They'll be like, what's that freaky double IPA thing in your
And
hand?
you're going to say, it's actually molecules of water. So Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Liquid Death?
Is Liquid Death dancing the Macarena?
The Macarena. 1 Maca, 2 Maca, 3 Macarena. Yetis, that is not just a song. It's actually the most famous one-hit wonder of all time.
Do you know what band did the Macarena?
Jack didn't know. I didn't know. Nobody knows.
You don't know either, Yetis. You don't know either.
And that is because the Macarena is that band's only song.
Well, Liquid Death rose to a $700 million valuation on just one product.
Yeah, still in sparkling water in a crazy can.
But in the last few months, they're trying a new thing, flavored water. They got 4 fruity flavors.
Jack, I just tried like the mango chainsaw flavor, and it tastes like mango from LaCroix or mango from Spindrift, but it's good. It's
Already,
good.
those flavored waters are 40% of sales. So the loyalists, they're trying it out.
But here's what Jack and I are wondering. Will Liquid Death fans keep buying those new flavors? Will Liquid Death's new products still take off in a year?
Or will Liquid Death be singing the Macarena because it's a one-product wonder?
Jack, give me one more. It's not Liquid Death. It's Liquid Death.
Liquid Death! Now, a word about our sponsor, Robinhood.
You can do just about anything from your phone, but some industries, they've just been slow to
The
move.
finance industry was slow to move from phone to computer and then from computer to app.
Robinhood wasn't. It's the Silicon Valley-based brokerage that's been updating apps since it was born in 2015.
Using the Robinhood app for your stocks and crypto is almost as easy as downloading it.
So you can invest at your pace on your terms by downloading the Robinhood app.
If you're not investing on Robinhood yet, to get started, go to Robinhood.com/TBoy and choose your free stock.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY. Limitations apply.
Stocks are offered by Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto.
All investments involve risk.
By the way, this podcast is not owned by or part of Robinhood, and we are not employees of Robinhood. Our third and final story, Credit Suisse is getting all the attention this week. Not too shabby for a financial institution.
That's not for a good reason, though, because the big question on Wall Street is Credit Suisse the next Lehman Brothers?
All right, now, Jack, I'm sorry. It's been years. I'm a little rusty on my Swiss, but I believe Credit Suisse translates roughly to Swiss bank.
It does, but they spell Swiss like the Swiss do without a W.
Because they do want to be confused with a chocolate company.
And they don't call it Swiss, they call it Suisse.
Yeah, well, like the nation of Switzerland, Credit Suisse likes money and it likes fondue.
But they may have gone a little too deep on one, and it's not the fondue.
No, it is not. Yetis, Jack and I jumped in T-Boy style to their latest earnings report. And Jack, what do?
We Control F'd those earnings, and we found the word exposure mentioned 36 times.
Yeah, using it in a sentence as in exposure, like our money was exposed.
Credit Suisse invested or lent $900 billion to risky companies, risky countries, and risky funds.
Well, risky companies, especially right now, are vulnerable to rising interest rates. So Credit Suisse, it is exposed.
It's exposed.
It's exposed.
Investors think Credit Suisse is about to lose a lot of money in the next couple of years, so they're selling the stock now to get ahead of that.
To sprinkle on some more context, Jack, where is the stock of this 166-year-old bank now compared to the financial crisis?
At the depths of the financial crisis, it was about 10 Swiss franc. Right now, it's less than half of that.
It's exposed.
It's exposed.
So Yetis, we know what you're thinking when you see a bank that's so exposed. You want to know how scared investors are.
To figure out how scared investors really are, we're looking at one thing.
One thing.
We're calling it the I'm not buying it ratio.
The I'm not buying it ratio. Not taught in business school, but it is a real thing we believe.
According to Credit Suisse's own reports, the difference between what the bank owns and what they owe is $44 billion.
Well, that $44 billion is the book value of the company. It's what Credit Suisse thinks all its assets, everything it owns, is worth.
Wall Street's saying, I'm not buying it.
Wall Street's like, hey, Credit Suisse, we think you're worth less. Actually, like much less, a lot less. 1/4 of what you think you're worth.
The value of Credit Suisse stock in the stock market, that's what Wall Street thinks this bank is
and
worth.
Jack, what does Wall Street thinks Credit Suisse is worth in the stock market?
$11 billion.
Yeah, so Credit Suisse thinks it's worth $44 billion. Wall Street thinks it's worth $11 billion.
So Wall Street's telling Credit Suisse, I'm not buying it.
That is the I'm not buying it ratio.
Investors aren't buying anything Credit Suisse has to say right now.
So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Credit Suisse?
Credit Suisse is not the next Lehman Brothers.
Yeti's Lehman Brothers, the iconic investment bank that kicked off the 2008 financial crisis while Jack and I were in college.
Like a bomb, Lehman's explosion caused huge damage to all the other banks 14 years ago.
But because of that Lehman problem, the financial system today is changed.
Regulations are tighter. Banks are more prepared. Finance, generally, is just less risky.
So ironically, because of Lehman Brothers falling apart, banks today can avoid being like Lehman.
Credit Suisse could extinguish as an institution, but it won't explode onto all the other banks and the whole system like Lehman did.
Yeah, Credit Suisse is struggling right now, but it's not another Lehman Brothers. Jack, can you expose the takeaways for us over there?
Twitter never should have been a company.
Now we'll see if Twitter should have been Elon's pet project.
For our second story, Liquid Death's valuation jumped despite this brutal market.
Will Liquid Death grow beyond one product, or will they dance the Macarena?
Our third and final story is Credit Suisse. It's exposed.
Exposed.
So the stock is absolutely in the dumps.
But it's not the next Lehman Brothers. Now, time for the best fact yet. This one sent in by Sam Goodman from lovely New York City.
It's a continuation of our tricky trademarks and crazy copyrights.
Get this, Yetis. One musical artist has more known trademarks than any other singer.
And that musical artist is T Swift.
Taylor Swift, she has more catchphrases trademarked publicly known than any other celebrity.
Over 350 terms. From blank space to look what you made me do.
Like, honestly, Jack, if it is a lyric, Taylor protects it. Her team protects it.
If you say shake it off 3 times in a row,
Yeah.
Taylor's going to send you a cease and desist.
Wait, what word, Jack?
Shake it off.
Which word?
Shake it off.
Yetis, you look fantastic today. And remember, if you're ready for more spaghetti, we would love you to drop us a 5-star review in today's podcast.
And if you're having a bad day, just shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it.
And before we go, happy birthday to Yeti Momo Miyazaki over in Tokyo, Japan.
Happy birthday to Flora. Beautiful name. She's listening with her dad and turning 1 in Grand Junction, Colorado.
And Alan Rosenfeld is turning 70 down in Charleston, South Carolina.
And happy birthday to Tyler Wallball Frederick from the Ohio State University.
And a happy birthday to Jeff Bosnay over in Buffalo Bills, New York.
And happy birthday to Elliot Anderson, turning the lucky number 7 in Fullerton, California. Been listening to this pod since kindergarten.
Oh, and Jack, Elise Grovant just paid off her $30,000 in college loans.
Huge, huge milestone.
And Mariana Tenori's got a new job over at Visa.
Credit or debit? Credit.
And Megan Gillen and Tyler Hallmark, they just had their 1-year anniversary down in New York City.
And happy 3 years together to RJ and Anna Uglo in San Diego. And to anyone else who's celebrating something today, make it a T-Boy.
Celebrate the wins.
Now, a word about our sponsor, Robinhood.
Jack, rule number 1 about a kitchen renovation, tell your friends about your kitchen renovation.
We know the cabinets are expensive.
Well, in the pandemic, a lot of companies renovated their businesses focusing on apps and digital.
Robinhood didn't have to. It was built digital from the start.
Robinhood's mobile-first and intuitive design makes investing a little easier for every stage of your investing journey.
Whether you want to trade options, ETFs, or stocks through Robinhood Financial, or buy some Bitcoin on Robinhood Crypto, you can do all that right on the Robinhood app.
If you're not investing on Robinhood yet, to get started, go to Robinhood.com/Tboy and choose your free stock.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY. Limitations apply.
Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. All investments involve risk.
By the way, this podcast is not owned by or part of Robinhood, and we are not employees of Robinhood. Well, you didn't get me to do it 3 times, dude. I only did it twice.
You said it 3 times.
Oh, did I? I think I only said it twice. Shake it off, shake it off.
Shake it off.